Welcome to Timeball Games. I'm ELD, here to ask you for help in growing the channel. When we reach 2,500 subscribers, I'm going to be giving away a custom leather playmat to one lucky subscriber. So be sure to like and subscribe. Welcome to Fast Effect Double Speed Magic the Gathering from ELD's Timeball Games in Bellingham, Mass. Here we've got Ben on Dreadstill versus Tristan on Dark Depths. He leads out with a Lotus Petal and a Thoughtseize with 1 mana open. I see that splash of red in Ben's hand. We've got a Force of Will pair along with Standstill, Daze, and Stifle. Now, Stifle's a card that players I've seen used to disastrous effect versus Dark Depths combo. The combo involves a state trigger. So when you copy with... Oh, and he takes it. When you copy with a Thespian stage, you can actually stifle the trigger. So you'll have a Thespian stage with 0 counters on it, which is now a Dark Depths. Force of Will stopping this Sylvan Scrying. And the Stifle will resolve, and then you'll still have a Thespian stage which has become a Dark Depths with 0 counters, so the trigger will just be placed back on the stack. So it's a disaster. It's one of those things that I've seen people do, have Stifle, think it's actually going to work out, and kind of the best case scenario with Stifle is that you can stifle their Wasteland, or you can stifle them activating Thespian stage and just slow them down by just a single turn. We've got Crop Rotation responding to the Standstill. So Into the North is being played, and then Crop Rotation. And I think Ben's got a Daze here, which is going to be bad news. That Stifle, I think definitely not a worthy choice. We've got Force of Negation stopping the Crop Rotation. And now how about Into the North? Oh, and technically he actually should have drawn the cards first. So Standstill will trigger multiple times. So basically the Crop Rotation. So we have a Into the North, Crop Rotate, Into the North, Standstill trigger, Crop Rotation. There should be another Standstill trigger on top of that. So Ben should have drawn the 3 cards before deciding whether or not any of that resolved. Slight inaccuracy there. We'll see if it ends up mattering. We've got a Thespian stage along with Dark Depths on board. And Ben does have a Wasteland. He stands up Factory, turns it sideways. Tristan's going to need an answer to that. It could be a Wasteland or something along those lines. Oh no! Oh no! Crop Rotation in response. Why is that Dark Depths in the graveyard? A little bit of an inaccuracy there for Tristan. I think he's going to get it anyways, but he could have responded with that Crop Rotation, got the Urborg, and then made a 20/20 in response to that Wasteland. Ben definitely firing that Wasteland off too early, and that is just one of those little nuances of Legacy to really learn in order to level up the way that Wasteland interacts with the Dark Depths combo. You absolutely want to wait until they've used their Thespian stage targeting it, and after the Legend rule has resolved, then you're going to Wasteland their Thespian stage, which is a copy of Dark Depths. That is absolutely how you want to be doing it, and there we saw exactly why that was a complete disaster. The Wasteland trying to be played kind of preemptively, while it didn't look like there was enough mana on board for things to go horribly wrong, and yet they completely did. Realistically, that should have just been death on Tristan's turn. Tristan should have been, and actually went into his turn with a 20/20. We see Choke in the sideboard. Oh no, that's Steely Resolve. I don't know if the deck actually plays Choke in this sideboard. That is a very rude Magic card. Absolutely disheartening. But I don't really love it in a Turbo Depth strategy. I think it's much better in like a lands build, a little bit more grindy. Turbo Depths has so many great early wins that I don't think you want to be playing cards that don't have synergy with your best draws. So much of what it's looking to do is winning incredibly fast And Depth's one of those decks, one of those really rare decks, in that it's a combo deck that doesn't necessarily care about counter spells or discard. There are plenty of times where your opponent could literally have a hand with a couple of Force of Wills and Thought Seizes, and you could still just get them on turn 3, even without any additional cards off the top of your deck. I'm just talking, Dark Depths, Urborg, and Thespian Stage, as the Urborg allows Dark Depths to tap 4 black mana. Ben on Dreadstill leads out with a Volcanic Island into Delver of Secrets. It's a good opening for the deck. Verdant Catacombs finds a basic forest. And Force of Will from the top of the deck flips that Delver. Tristan knows what he's going to be up against here. Urborg. A Brainstorm with a fetch land. Best combo in the game assembled. He's going to be able to optimize his hand, get rid of the worst cards. And he fetches during the upkeep. Little decisions like that rarely end up mattering too much. We've got Abrupt Decay taking out that Delver, which is a good turn of events for Tristan. Sacrificing the fetch land during your opponent's turn or on your turn really only matters if there's going to be responses. Having your mana tied up on your turn unnecessarily can have a cascading negative effect. We've got a Spell Pierce stopping into the north. Into the north, for those unfamiliar, gets a snow land out of the deck, so it can actually go get Dark Depths or another land. And did he just... I think he actually flashed a Dark Depths that he forgot to play on his turn. And a Vampire Hexmage. That gets Force of Will pitching Spell Pierce. Spell Pierce unable to stop a Hexmage, but Force of Will can. And Surgical now is going to go after the Vampire Hexmage, I imagine. It does. So Thespian Stage. The card in the deck that Ben needs to be concerned with. One of them has been sideboarded out. Vampire Hexmage also quite good at taking out Planeswalkers. Oh, and a Standstill. This I don't love. So Ben doesn't have a creature on board, and Tristan's just getting free draws off the top of the deck. Oh, he plays an Expedition Map right into it. Ben, sometimes you play the card, sometimes you play the person. He believed Tristan was going to play into the Standstill, and he does, firing off an Expedition Map, which Ben Force of Will, so he's up a card. Now he finds a Wasteland. And a Wasteland, oh, he thought about it. Almost took out that Dark Depths. A Sylvan Scrying. This can go get Thespian Stage. And he will have enough mana to make a 20/20 during the end step. So this Wasteland has to play defense. If he taps it, this game is over. Oh, and he Wastelands in response. Okay, so he stifles the Thespian Stage activation. What a wild game this is. Ben Wastelands, forces the interaction, and then stifles. We've got Urborg tapping. Four. Tons of mana here. Crop rotation. Into another Thespian Stage. And he makes a 20/20, passes the turn. And that is it. What a wild game. Lots of little decisions. I hope that was informative for you guys. Those are not easy decks to play. And let me know in the comments what you think. I mean, my lines are not necessarily the optimal ones either. I think there's a little bit of a technical understanding that I try and share with you guys. But those timing issues, these are both very good players, and based off of how they played it, I'd imagine that they were unaware of some of these more subtle timing issues with the more complicated parts of the combo. So Dark Depths takes it down, and this is actually one of the decks that we loan out on occasion when people show up to play Legacy and don't have a deck. So when we're back to slinging cardboard in the shop, if you're in the area, you could be playing this deck as well someday. That is all for this one, but don't worry, there is a lot more. You can check out our older videos, and we're always putting out new videos from ELD's Time Vault Games in Bellingham, Massachusetts. If you want to help the channel, of course, you can like, subscribe, share, tap that notification bell so you can know the next time our new videos come out. Thanks for watching.